So the future of online business, if you're here, the chances are that you are in the online business niche. So you're either helping in the education, transformation, wellness and health, consciousness, or essentially helping somebody increase their income or become an entrepreneur. Okay, so not all online businesses are like this. I think obviously there's e-commerce and there's lots of different ways to be able to make money online. And there's lots of different online types of businesses, but predominantly these are the ones that I believe are not just have a lot of potential for growth over the next 5 to 10 years, but it's likely that you're actually here. And it's pretty obvious why these are going to grow. So in 2020 to the beginning of 2021, it was October of 2021. And for the first time since, let me just go back a little tiny bit. 2014, I had an agency, multiple 7-figure agency, had services, very successful. Didn't like it. Obviously, didn't like it because it consumed all of my time, 16 hours a day. It was a lot, right? Made money, allowed me to pay off debt, but it was a lot. And I said, well, there's got to be something better than this. And so, and I opened myself up to the universe as saying, I'm ready for whatever's next. And so then, I don't know, about a month or two later, somebody asked me, hey, Scott, can you teach me online marketing? Now, I've been doing online marketing since I was literally a teenager, like 12. And I was like, yeah, sure. Now, it took me a couple of months to get to that yeah, sure moment. But once I actually got there, that was 2015. 2015, I did $500,000. In 2016, $3 million. 2017, $7 million, burnt the whole thing down. 2018 to 2019, did over $14 million. And everything's been kind of like crazy ever since, I guess, 2016. So online business, being able to support the education, transformation, wellness, health, consciousness, and income has literally helped me make tens of millions of dollars and have helped me help others make hundreds of millions of dollars. Yet, in no point in time did I ever spend a moment to sit down and be like, what is it I actually want to do? Do I actually want to do this? Yeah, I fell into it, right? It was like an accident. I didn't intentionally plan. All right, I want to be an influencer. I want to be a business mentor. In 2014, I was still $500,000 in debt. Well, who am I to be a business mentor? And who am I to do that? Who am I to teach online marketing? Lots of people out there better than me. Still is today. So in 2020, I keep on getting the years mixed up. I keep on forgetting we're in 2022 right now. In the end of 2020, I said, you know what? I'm going to take off. I don't know how long, but I'm going to take off time until I have clarity. Right? And thankfully I was in a place where I'm a multimillionaire. I can take that time off. It's not the end of the world. I don't need to be in this place of like, let's go, because in lack of in lack of clarity, take action is the mantra when you don't have momentum. But when you have momentum and you don't know where you're going, you need to slow down and get the clarity and focus, or you're going to end up somewhere you probably don't want to be. And that's almost worse than having no momentum. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me take some time. And so I took time. I took that time and I started researching. I started talking to very successful people. I started interviewing very successful people. I started looking at the different markets and different niches, different things that I could do, different things that I could do with the money that I have, the time that I have. And I finally ended up realizing by March, right? So October, November, December, January, February, March of 2021. It's like, there's nothing I can do that I can impact this industry more than anything else. And then I started thinking about, well, look at the mentors and coaches that I've hired that have spent over $1 million, probably $2 million in coaches and mentors and healers and people to help me since particularly 2013. I look at the education system that completely failed me. I didn't go to university. I didn't go to college. And I'm not really good at being able to learn from books. I have a terrible memory. I have 3 to 6 different types of dyslexia. I have 2 types of memory deficits, and my auditory processing deficit makes it very difficult for me to be able to actually listen and understand. So education, yeah, you know what? I was a teenage entrepreneur, and I became an entrepreneur because it was an escape from the reality of the school system in Newfoundland, Canada. Nothing against that. The education system everywhere has a massive revamp, and the education system for universities and colleges has a massive revamp that's going to happen over the next 20 years. So I'm going along saying, yeah, you know what? I want to change that. Transformation. Like I said, hypnotherapy, healers, body workers, therapists, coaches, and mentors that I've hired since 2013 has made it so that I am who I am today. And I would definitely be incredibly depressed, probably a lot more like very, very, very broke still if it wasn't for those people that were in my life. So I was like, okay, awesome. Wellness and health. I was 360 pounds by the time I was 16 years old. Okay. I learned how to radically change my body. But further than that, over the last particularly 4 years, the level of health that I've been and wellness that I've been able to achieve, it's been exponential. Again, coaches, people, research, all these different types of things that are very important if we want to live beyond 100 years old, which I do. Consciousness, quite simply put, the more people that are going from one level of the hierarchy of needs to the other, someone needs to help them. All right, so if you look at the hierarchies of needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, now there's actually 7 levels, but we're going to go with 5 today, right? In order to get to self-actualization, it does require having other people to help you. Always. Whether or not it is paying them, whether or not they're your friends, whether or not it's a guru, whether or not it's a spiritual a guide or mentor, doesn't matter what it is, but in order to get to that self-actualization and increase your own inner energy, as well as being able to get to that self-actualization, other people are involved. And of course, I get stories every single day of how the work that I do impacts people in their life so much from all over the world, helping other people be able to increase how much money they make and to be able to own themselves and to own their reality and own how much money they make. That's absolutely beautiful. So I look at all this, and I go into every single one of these. I'm like, all right, where's online education going to be? What's universities going to do in the future? Let's look at transformation. How many people, if I walk down the road, have a coach? I'm like, all right, probably 3 in most places in the world. Maybe 3, maybe 2 out of 100. Well, there's going to be a lot of growth there. I look at wellness and health, and I believe in a society that takes health of themselves instead of just going and solving the problem once it's a problem. I believe in the future we will truly believe, and even now, in preventative health, not simply just solving issues with drugs. In terms of consciousness, we don't have a choice but to upgrade our consciousness. When an old paradigm is broken, a new paradigm is created and seen. And once we see the truth, we can never unsee it. And in my opinion, people are always going to want to make more money because they want to take care of themselves. They want to take care of their families. They want to take care of their community. And really, at the end of the day, it's not the fact that everyone's money hungry. It's just the fact that people want freedom and they want certainty. And those are the 2 things that we're always going to be able to help. So I look at this and I'm like, what else is going to grow this much? What else is going to grow this much? You know, if the world's going from 8 billion to 11 billion people by 2100, and everybody over the next 5 years is going to have access to internet, in which about 2 billion don't today, and more people are going to go away from jobs and 9-to-5s to being entrepreneurs. I just look at this, I'm just like, all right, universe, I'm in. I get it. And so your place in this industry, right? Your place in what you do kind of goes in a order like this, right? At the beginning, if you don't have a lot of knowledge and skills and understanding, you just help someone. You go in someone's company, you learn skills, you become knowledgeable, you increase your unfair advantage. Once you do that, you can provide services, right? This is agencies and service-based companies, right? They do have limitations. Trying to scale past 3 million in a service-based company does take a lot of effort, a lot of work. I'm not saying it's not right, but it wasn't right for me after I did it for, so many times and for so many years. right? And so once you get good at this, you have the knowledge and experience to be able to go and teach others the knowledge that you've learned, the expertise that you've learned. And so help someone, services, knowledge, expertise. And then once you do that, you can get to a point where you can actually help someone have transformation. Right? So let's put in a personal trainer example, okay? So you help yourself. First, you help yourself. You figure it out. You understand it. You get it. You're like, wow. So now you can help somebody else. Then you can become a personal trainer. Now it's not just about being a personal trainer, but now you can actually articulate nutrition plans, meal plans, and be able to actually help somebody and give knowledge on a day-to-day basis so that people can help themselves. Then over time, you get good at being able to actually help people go from transformation, going from here to there, from where they are today to where they want to be and filling that gap. And then finally, sort of the highest level of this paradigm is, of course, mentorship and advisory. When you've done something successfully so many times that it's, like eating your breakfast. And then on top of this, in all of these things, we also have inside of this industry the ability to optimize energy. Anytime that you optimize any one of these elements, or you optimize in the way in which somebody does something, whenever you optimize energy, that energy flow goes back to you. That energy flow means profitability. Okay? So I'm looking at this, and of course, when I say I was looking at this, I took like a sabbatical, and I spent time with Libby. I bought my McLaren at the same time, so I took a lot of drives in the McLaren. I was thinking about that a lot. Took a lot of walks, and the rest of the time I was just researching and talking to people. And so I ended up building the business that I have today, Modern Business Academy, from this, at this epicenter of this, because I said, well, you know what, if I help people with their businesses, that's going to help everything else, right? And so then from an MBA, certifications in education, I want to radically change the way that education goes over the next 20 years. I believe we're going to go away from universities and colleges and into certifications and internships and mentorships, right? We are going to change the way in which education goes because that's what people want, right? From there, software and optimization. So this, if you're looking at where Scott Oldford invests his net worth and his money and his time, it is this. So then it's software and optimization, being able to solve problems with automation, with AI, so that we can get back to doing the things that are good. AI is not bad. Software is not bad. It has the right time and place. And we can add that onto what it is we do. And then finally, consciousness and human evolution, of being able to help human beings evolve to self-actualization. Because I got to tell you, it feels the best. I might not be there yet, but every time I get closer and closer, it feels the best. It feels a lot better than it used to. And we're going to get there in a second. I'm going to stay here. So my prediction of the future is pretty good if you're in one of those industries. And keep in mind, up here, the more you get here, so if you go here to here to here to here to here, the more amount of money you make at each stage. Right? Why? Because the more value you give at each stage. Value and money has a generally direct proportion. Okay? So the entrepreneurs that I mentor, and the way that I look at my life and my business and the future, is looking at these 5 currencies. I talk about this partially in my book, The Nuclear Effect. I talk about 3. I've since expanded that. So we have 5 currencies. We have the currency of time, money, audience, influence, and knowledge and expertise. Now you have at the end of the day, all of you have at least one of these. It might be money, might be time, might be knowledge or expertise, but they're interchangeable. And the people that are going to do the best, the entrepreneurs that are going to do the best over the next 5 to 10 years, they're holding and building these as their assets. Because no stock market, no crypto, no nothing is going to outperform this, in my opinion. And they're transferable. You can take your time to help with other people and you're going to get money. You can take your money, you can invest it in an audience so that you can talk to more people. You're able to take audience, and by having more audience, you're going to be able to meet more people, which allows for influence. By having influence and having relationships with other people that have audience or money, you're able to create audience or you're able to create money. If you have knowledge and expertise because you've taken time to be able to build knowledge and expertise, you're able to take that knowledge and expertise, put it into money, amplify it with audience, which again creates a curve back to money. This is this scenario. If you set this up correctly, especially over the next 5 years, you then have the ability to have a pretty much unlimited amount of time. I work about 20 hours a week, and I don't need to do any more than that, right? It's fun. It's a fun 20 hours. It allows you to create more and more money. It allows you to create more and more audience, more and more influence, and more knowledge and expertise, which basically makes it so that you continually just have more of all of it. Now, why do you want more of it? Who cares? Why does it matter? The truth is this. The more of this that you have, not only do you have more freedom, but your way of seeing the world will radically change. Because at first you care about yourself, then you care about the things you always wanted. Then you care about creating certainty in your life for your family. Then you want to go and actually change something out there in the world that you're passionate about. And then you want to scale that impact more. And guess what? Guess what allows you to do all those things? Time, money, audience, influence, knowledge, and expertise. The more knowledge and expertise, the more money you have, the more time you have, to be able to go out and do the things that you actually love. And guess what? I guarantee you, if you continually do this, the universe is always going to continue open up new doors that also follow deeply to your passion and more deeply to your purpose. So I believe these currencies are very, very important. I invest in these currencies before I invest in a business, before I invest in the stock market, before I invest in anything else outside of myself. Because this is allowing yourself to create your own reality every single day and allow you to expand that reality every single day. So people are so consumed by this. Money is the least valuable of these 5 resources. Yet everyone is obsessed and consumed by the least valuable one because society indoctrinated them that this matters more than these other 4. So in the future, for the future, our ad cost is going to go up, of course. Is more competitors going to come around? Of course. Right? The next 5 to 10 years, the market's going to change. Things are going to change. The next hot thing is always going to change. But your belief in the fact of what you do in the industry that you're in, number one, that's incredibly important. If you don't have that, you have nothing. And number 2, every single time you make a decision, every single day you wake up, you're thinking, how am I creating these 5 currencies? Because these 5 currencies are interchangeable at any given time, are easily interchanged or exchanged rather. And they are the ones that give you the highest level of freedom and control inside of your life. All right, so that's how I ended up getting to March of 2021 and launching Modern Business Academy, starting massively investing into the different businesses that I'm investing in, and allowed me and gave me a purpose that I haven't felt since 2009. It was the first time I felt this is why I'm here. I've always been good at what I do. I've always been good at mentoring. I've always been good at business, understanding, seeing patterns, being able to understand the world a little bit different than most people, and being able to allow me to be at the right time in the right place most of the time. But seeing this, and this, and this, and this clearly made it so much larger than not just myself, not just my family, but it empowered me and inspired me to be like, whoa, I'm excited to do this. And without that excitement, you never get that excitement about money. You never get that excitement about a car, dream house, relationships, probably the only other place you get that. But any things, you don't get that from. And it allows you to have this much more visionary element to what you do. And it also makes it so that it doesn't matter what happens on a daily basis. When you have the big picture in mind, the easy answer to almost every question is, it won't matter in 10 years. It gives you much more horizon to work with. So that's where I believe we're going in the next 5 years. I'm not going to comment on what I believe the next social media thing is, or the next tactic, or the next hack, or those different types of things. I don't believe in even commenting on that. I believe in principles and high-level strategy, because those things are what allows us to guide us to decide what tactics and things we actually implement.